Hello everyone and welcome back to Sports Today. So we note for a fact that the Malaysia Open Super 1000 event was kicking off in the badminton world today, and there was obviously going to be some interest from the Indian contingent because earlier you had Lakshya Sen and HS Prannoy face off in an all-Indian encounter, and PV Sindhu was set to make her comeback after a very lengthy injury layoff really that had of course kept her out for the best part of over 6 months after she had won the gold medal in the Birmingham Commonwealth Games in middle of 2022. However, it hasn't been a great comeback for PV Sindhu because she was put up against Carolina Marin, her, you could say someone who's been something of a nemesis for her, especially in recent times. And, well, Sindhu ended up losing in and is crashed out of the tournament in the opening round of the, Malaysia Open Super 1000 itself. Now, obviously, you can say it's a bit unfortunate, but it was something that many people did expect would happen. Marin is someone who has had Sindhu's number, especially when it comes to the bigger tournaments. In fact, you remember that 2016 when Sindhu had made it to the finals of the Olympics. That in itself was something that people thought that she could win. She ended up losing out to Marin, and in fact, even here this time around, the previous three matches coming into this particular encounter had all been won by Marin between these two. And truth be told, it was a familiar tale for many who were actually watching it. So the first game was very very one-sided and went in favor of Marin quite easily. Now Sindhu, to her credit, could have crumbled at that point but fought back really hard thereafter. In fact, she won the second game 21-10, and she counter-attacked at a very good pace. She absolutely came at Marin very hard, and so that was one positive, one good thing for Sindhu. She showed that there's no real signs of rustiness after coming back from a very long injury layoff. Unfortunately, the third game she ended up kind of falling behind, and despite starting the game strong, there was one too many unforced errors and missed opportunities for Sindhu, and therefore she could not in fact capitalize on the momentum that she had going her way after the second game. And despite the fact that she fought really hard, and there was a time period when it did look like she might be able to overhaul the points lead that Marin had going into the third set. So in the third game, generally speaking, Marin was almost always ahead, and there were times when in fact the game looked like it could be going Sindhu's way, but she would make 1 or 2 points and then she would end up having an unforced error, or she would just end up losing a point which she maybe could have won. And so in that regard, unfortunate for her, but in fact what happened in the end was that she ended up kind of faltering a little bit, and 21-15 was the result of the third game in favor of Marin, which means that Marin wins 2-1 and advances to the next round. Now, in fact, the good news for Sindhu was that generally speaking she didn't look too rusty out there, and that's a good thing because she's been on the injury shelf for quite a while now. Don't forget, she had gotten injured or picked up that injury after the Commonwealth Games. It was a stress fracture to her left foot ankle, and it actually ruled her out for a significant period of time. So that's an injury that's not very easy one to come back from, and credit to her, she's done very well. She did look sharp. Unfortunately, she just had to come up against an opponent who more often than not in recent history has had her number. So that in fact is the breaking news update for you from the Malaysia Super Open 1000. Mixed day for Indian badminton players, because of course you had HS Prannoy and Lakshya Sen face off against one another in the first round. They'll be doing that again in the India Open, which is next week, and Prannoy was the one who was victorious this time around. But beyond that, you had Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty also get a good win in the doubles. But Sindhu unfortunately losing out, never a good thing for Indian badminton. She's probably one of the most recognizable stars in the game, and her being there always means that India are very much in with a chance of getting that medal. So that's the breaking news update for you guys. Thank you all very much for joining us. Again, if you enjoy our work over here at Sports Today, you can like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, and don't also forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and last but not least, download the AajTak app. Thank you all once again for joining us. Bye bye for now.